to Golden Shore, I believe. To
Yes, we're on our way to that Vine Island or
yes, the place where they have the
Yeah.
Sisterhood of the Vine, and I believe the home of the noble lady that you guys rescued, Elaine.
Yep.
And along the way, you stopped at a beach, dug for some clams, found a big clam.
Yeah.
Found a
Yep.
broken power cell, wasn't it?
Yes, a fuel rod.
Yeah.
That is contained in glass for now.
Yeah.
It has a slight glow to it, so you can put it on your nightstand as a nightlight.
Use it as a ship lantern or something.
Yes. You ate clam. The clam was probably big enough for like actual steaks, clam steaks. If you wanted.
Oh,
That sounds interesting.
something that Yalkin's character would probably be preparing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what we have for now. What's your plan? Are you gonna get on the ship? I believe you're still on the beach.
Yeah, I guess we
Yeah, we're gonna get on ship. We're
get
gonna
on the ship and out and stuff, and I guess Yalkin's character can make giant clam steak things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Giant flame what thing?
The giant clam we killed, you could make like
You can make a steak out of it.
or probably multiple steaks or whatever. I said.
Wait, what did we kill? I forgot. It's been a while.
A giant clam.
Yeah, it was a giant clam.
Oh, right. Wait, we were by the beach, right? Like last time? Alright, I told you guys I wanted to make like a shield out of like the clam shell.
Out of one half the shell. But like, you know, there's also just the clam meat. Which...
Yep, there's the wall clams and the pearl that I somehow nat 20 with a crowbar.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big pearl.
Yeah. I already added that one to my inventory. But yeah, so, I'm gonna probably, you're probably gonna be, cooking that or whatever.
Yep, we got a lot of clams and that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right, back on the ship. You have your kitchen to contend with.
Yep.
You have quite a few animal friends, don't you? You have the isopod. You have, I guess, Knickknack's not really an animal companion. Knickknack's like a Knickknack's a full character.
That would be calling me an animal.
That's true.
Knickknack is just a, NPC that will eventually probably get his own animal companion.
Probably.
He's a ranger.
I mean, yeah. I feel like there's only the isopod.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you were trying to collect more and more.
Yeah.
Like a Pokemon trainer.
We could.
That's Yalkin's character in a different campaign.
The Pokemon trainer?
No, an animal collector in the one of Scavy's campaigns that he's in. He is like some animal farmer.
Yeah, it's the really hard one, right?
No, that's the first session.
Oh.
Scavy's currently running 2 back-to-back campaigns.
Gotcha.
One of them is really difficult. One of them he's gone a bit easier on us with, and the latter of the two is the one that Yalkin's on.
You ever just want to do a bunch of damage, but the enemies say resistant?
Yeah, there's still resistances to contend with there, though. Okay, so anyways, enough talk about Scavy's campaign. Let's
enough
do this one.
Back aboard the ship. What do you do on the ship for, I guess, the next day before you reach the destination?
I guess I'll look out over the sea, see if I can notice anything.
Wow, there's water. Make a perception check.
There we go.
11.
11?
Yeah.
Hmm. Uh, yeah, if you look out onto the sea, during the daytime, winds are decently calm because you are along the shoreline.
Hmm.
But when you look into the deeper waters, there are definitely signs of sea monsters prowling about.
Interesting.
I see large spines, spine fins, just kind of like crest over the water, maybe like a mile out, but then back under the waves.
Was there nowhere near us?
Yeah. Your area is too shallow to support big sea monsters.
Yeah.
But that is what you see with an 11.
All right.
Anyone else?
Hmm. And now, I guess I spend time with Knick-Knack doing more crossbow stuff.
Ah. Do you have it's like a hand crossbow or no, it's a light crossbow, right?
Yeah, Knick-Knack has
Okay.
light crossbow, and I have the ability to summon one of those as a packed weapon.
That's right. Yeah, Knick-Knack will pull back.
You can't use the blunderbuss. I don't think any of you can use the blunderbuss, so it's just sitting there now.
Well, at least we have it if we need an emergency
I think-
weapon.
I
So
think, what is it? Isn't Lichen technically a medium-sized creature?
Yes.
yeah.
No,
Dwarves
he's
are
a
medium size.
dwarf.
Dwarves are medium size.
Yeah, so he could.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought dwarves were like small. Oh,
Nope. They're just stout.
Yeah.
Sort of on the, I think they're on the smaller range of medium, but still in medium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're stout enough to handle a blunderbuss.
Yeah.
To know.
Unless you're freak of nature, a skinny dwarf. Oh my gosh. Probably beardless too.
Yeesh.
honestly, wouldn't that look more like a halfling than anything?
I
Probably.
guess, yeah.
Dwarf
Yeah. I
insult.
guess it actually would.
Your hands are
A
as soft
skinny
as your
dwarf
mother's
without a
beard.
beard.
Okay. So, anything else of significance happen?
No, unless you guys want to do something.
Hmm.
Cook the clam. You look out onto the water.
Don't really.
Knick-Knack is training. Knick-Knack's kind of interesting. They're a little. They get a little cabin fever because your boat was kind of small. So Knick-Knack takes some time to just like go up the mast, down the mast, up the mast, down the mast, up down, over and over again.
Interesting.
What do you shoot at with your crossbow training?
Well, I think that we had had like little targets set up, like just
You could use me.
I because this was not the first time that we had that I had been working to help train him with crossbow. So I think
Right.
that the last time you said that there was like a little place on the ship that we could like hang up paper targets or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Something along those lines. Forget
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
Knick-Knack's slowly getting better.
Yeah.
It's no longer throwing the crossbow. No longer like bashing it against targets, actually pointing and shooting. Still stabilizing it against surfaces like a ballista.
Yeah.
But getting there.
Steady aim.
Yeah.
Which
Well, you continue along, and the next day, it's enough time to where you see the land that you're going towards, and it's a very wealthy port town.
okay.
featuring lots of like stonework and brickwork. Lots of hustle and bustle still, despite the murmurs and of a dangerous shipment. There's still ships that brave the waters, and what's the biggest ship you've seen so far? The biggest wooden ship. You haven't seen the Marianne, have you?
I don't think so. I think the biggest wooden ship we'd have seen is probably the one that was zombie infested
One
that
we
shot bow and
started.
arrow at.
Gotcha. In that case, as you roll into port, you see the biggest, most magnificent ship you've seen thus far, called the Marianne. It is a ship of the line of battle. Cannons. So many cannons. Tall, majestic. You can see soldiers, like Marines, patrolling aboard the deck as they move cargo about. This thing is probably the biggest capital ship there is along this island chain. If you want to see a bigger ship, you're going to have to go to the mainland where they actually have like big fights.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And yeah, there it is in all of its glory, taking up several spots that normal ships would take. As you peter in on your dinghy magnificently.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The guild hall's there. The whole island, well, once you stroll in, it smells of grapes. Grapes and wine. Clearly, the brewery is active. Next to the guild hall, well, not next to, but within walking distance of the guild hall is a massive monastery, like a very Gregorian style stonework monastery next to a walled-in vineyard.
I would actually like to perform perception check on that monastery. See if I notice anything about it.
Go ahead. You notice it. It's there. Go ahead and roll.
11.
Is that your roll?
Yeah, another 11.
Yes, it is a very, very piss poor roll.
11.
I mean,
Wow.
Yeah, that's a monastery, all right.
Yeah.
Looks pretty new and pretty wealthy. Of course, everything on these islands are kind of like relatively new. You're not going to find ancient structures just because of colonization.
Mm-hmm.
But no, spared no expense. Stonework is elegant, dwarven carved. People are going in and out, so it doesn't seem that there's any like security going on. It looks like a public place that people can just go in and out of. But you do notice just generally more wealthy people going in than poor people.
That's good to know.
In fact, there doesn't seem to be any like dirt poor or beggars or anywhere around either.
Now that's interesting.
The monastery itself, there are grapes growing where you can see, but then there's just this walled off open air section, kind of like a castle's battlements, just encircling a section of the vineyard. That looks pretty intense for a monastery. It's got like a portcullis and like defensive fortifications and all that.
Yeah.
And there are people patrolling that area too. That's what you can see with an 11.
All right.
There's a free, no, not free, but there's a wine tasting event, as there almost always is.
Of
Okay.
course.
As a food culinary myself,
Yeah,
I have no idea how that would work for Warforged, but sure, why not?
I'm sure you can taste because like you're cooking all that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Robot wine, get robot drunk.
Drunk on like Energon or something.
Like girl wasted.
Yeah.
I mean, the first G1 Transformers, they always seem like they're drunk after drinking Energon, so
Yeah.
And but yeah, Guildhall, inn, drinks.
Is
Clearly, the specialty of this place is wine. Even though, yes, you can still order ale or brandy or whatever you want.
is the what is it? Um, is there like more to the island aside from just like the port city?
Yes, up the hill, there's a mansion,
Okay. Uh, there.
and there's all sorts of shops. This is a great place to buy pretty much anything you want because, again, it is a wealthy port.
Yeah. Is there like any sort of forested area or anything, or is it like entirely urban?
You do have to walk a little bit out to get to any forested area. It's more of a jungle than it is any kind of traditional forest.
Hmm.
So it's a rainforest. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess before we do anything with the involving the like main stuff where there's like obviously there's the Sisterhood of the Vine and all their stuff, since like part of investigating was investigating the island and seeing if there's anything up with them, I guess maybe investigating the forest to see if there's any stuff that's hidden there that
Yeah.
that might be walking
Yeah.
All right.
into covered darkness or whatever.
You have to walk for a good amount of time. The vineyard, the outside vineyard, takes up a good couple miles of land before you can walk out into any wooded areas. There's a great fence that keeps any animal. Well, it's supposed to keep any animals out, and then yeah, jungle.
All right.
understandable.
Um, what you're looking for? You can make a nature check, investigation check, perception check. Uh, you just walk into the jungle and bump into whatever. Oh wow, a tree. Oh,
Uh,
another tree.
Just
Mm,
trying to see if there's
I
anything.
don't know. I'll make a perception check for I don't know what exactly, but shit.
You're just gonna take the sights in.
yeah, I'll also do the same.
13, 17.
Man.
I'll try to figure out if try to look around for anything that's you know looks suspicious or interesting. Would that be investigation?
Suspicious. Yeah, or nature. Depends on what exactly the kind of thing. Oh, 24 now.
Yeah.
For investigation. Yes.
Oh,
13. Here's what you see. Um, it's a pretty thick jungle.
24. Wow, that's pretty good.
Uh, this isn't nearly as bad as the coastal jungle, where that's like magic and constantly regenerating. This is more tame, but still, even then, uh,
Yeah.
pretty much every ground space is occupied by some plant or rock or some other. Rich in wildlife, so many bugs and bats and birds. It smells intoxicating as all sorts of flowers are blooming, carried around by the muggy heat. Um, you don't particularly notice anything wrong, but yes, this is pretty nice jungle. I'm pretty sure that the ground it does really well for the grapes that are just nearby. 17 is when you notice visually. It's probably in the smell that you notice it first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, There's a long poo. No, that's not it.
Very stinky.
There is what?
There's a distinct lack of spark, a lack of life that you would expect in a jungle like this. Usually, places that are near consecrated, like a temple, that's like a big source of energy. So a lot of like fae and stuff would gather, but this place just seems relatively quiet in terms of fae mischief.
Almost
Uh,
too quiet, you could say.
Yeah. That's usually an indicator that there's like a powerful, something is gathering the influence.
Yeah.
It's like there's an archfey or whatever, or other creature that is powerful enough to kind of claim the area as their dominion. With a 24, 24 is when you notice there are people watching you. Way out, there are people always tending the grapevines, and you're just kind of like on the border, but maybe like a couple 100 feet away. Some of the monastery staff, they're tending the grapes. They look like they're tending the grapes, when in fact they're just kind of like watching, pretending to tend the grapes. For the 24, you also notice 24 investigation. What would it be? Investigation is with your senses and your sight.
Maybe he hears something?
No, well, It's more of a thrumming through the air. More than a hearing, it's more that you feel vibrations in your body.
Interesting.
Pulsating out from the walled portion of the estate of the monastery. It's very faint. You only managed to catch that because of your nat 20. But you can surmise that whatever is quelling the Fey presence in the area has to do with the walled-off portion of the vineyard.
Is there anything that it seems to be resonating against? Or is it just like emanating from a source and just being there?
It's just emanating from a source. There's no real resistance right now.
Okay. So, with it quelling the any sort of Fey presence, would that be something where it's like just preventing them from going out and doing stuff, or would it be driving them away and repelling them as a whole?
Make a. You can make a religion check or a nature check on that, discerning the nature of the Fae.
Okay, do I... Both of those are +1, so I guess religion. 10.
10. Oftentimes, organized religions are against the worship of Fae and other non-god entities. It's reasonable to surmise that just the presence of like a holy place is keeping out any big players. But with a 10, again, that's just common sense knowledge pretty much with a 10.
Well, if the, I guess we, just go a bit, further into the forest and look, see if there's anything else weird, because, of the weird looks that we were getting going into it.
Alright.
Sure.
Yeah, alright.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Deeper into the jungle you go.
Mm-hmm.
As you go further in, the thrumming of the whatever was in the vineyard starts to dissipate, and it's tough going because there are no paths. You have to kind of like machete your way past the overgrowth. And you come across all sorts of sights and smells and sounds, delicious fruits, and beautiful flowers all over the place. Excuse me. It looks like what your area is still now is still a little too close to civilization for any of the big beasts. So most of the animals you see aren't very interested in attacking you right away.
Which is good.
Usually.
Yeah. Yeah, usually.
There anything we noticed that's interesting?
There's plenty to be interested in with all of the wildlife and flora all over the place.
I want to make an Arcana check, see if I notice anything magical. Is that
Sure.
alright?
Yeah, you do that. 8. Oftentimes, so when it comes to magic, certainly there are spellcasters and human sources of magic, but some animals do have a relationship with magic, and some areas of the land, some land masses definitely have a relationship with magic. There are primordial forces of magic that were brought into the earth upon its creation, and have still lingered ever since, constantly echoing.
Can I also try?
Sure.
Sure, feel free.
With an 8, nothing on the surface. Nothing on the surface. You see, the jungle itself,
Yeah.
is more or less. It's mildly magical. Sure, it's not particularly devoid of magic, but it's you're kind of entering fairyland, but you're not into like the
Yeah.
dark woods quite yet. With a 20, something feels off. With a 20 when it comes to the magical sources. Because you yourself are a construct, you're able to kind of read the flow as if it's like a magnetic field. Different sources of magic flowing in and out. And what you notice is something underground. Something underground that is changing the field of magic around you. You can see it in the trees, you can see it in the way that the water flows, and you can feel it as kind of in your metal bones. Something underground is moving around. Whether it's sucking up magic energy, outputting it, or just moving it around is still kind of hard to tell. But there's something down there.
I'll report my findings to the rest of the group.
Hmm.
Can I, so if there's something underground, can I, try to look around to see if I could find some sort of underground entrance or something?
Yeah.
Sort of similar to what we had with the, dentist?
Yeah.
Ooh. It's pretty
Very good. Yeah, you find it almost instantly.
Wow.
So you just kind of start digging at your feet. Then you reach bonk, something hard. It is tiled stone. You can start brushing off more of the overgrowth, and you have to like tear out clods of earth, displacing plants and bugs. When you eventually find an opening, some kind of cavernous area beneath your feet that you can kind of squeeze into. And from what you can see just from where you are before you enter, you see pipes, brass pipes, vessels of glass, of like an aquarium, almost, but like cylindrical.
Okay.
And more like mosaic tiles. Very decorative and ornate. Just like mismatching each other. Spikes too. Yeah, spikes.
That's interesting.
Is the
So is there a way to get down there?
Do you have a rope?
I'm pretty
can
sure
just-
I have a bunch of hempen rope.
You just jump down there if you really wanted to, but you know.
he should have rope because he should have quite a bit of rope because of Burglar's Pack.
Oh,
So yeah,
Also,
you can secure it against a tree and like lower yourself down if you want.
Also, he can fly, so he could just.
That's true. That helps.
True, true.
He could
It is a little bit of a narrow opening, but yes, you can fly in and out of it.
I guess.
Down you go.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a narrow opening, just make it bigger.
That's what he said. Or that's what she said.
I'll
So, do you like blast it or break it open or whatever?
We go down.
just open it with my bare fucking hands. Why not? Just like
All
the
right,
the
strength.
other wall I made.
Athletics check, please. 20.
20.
It takes surprisingly more effort than you expected it to, especially given how unmaintained this area looks. Yes, mosaic tile. Very beautiful stones on the inside and the outside. Well, mostly on the inside. Red and green. It's granite and marble and stuff like that. But clearly, this is not just decorative, as it takes monstrous strength to break off another chunk of tile, making the opening moderately bigger. The fragments of stone that you dislodge fall down into the inside of the into the rooms with a ominous clattering.
I'm sure that won't attract any attention.
So, is it enough for him to like fly down into at this point, or?
Yeah.
I guess he could fly us down there or whatever, maybe.
You don't like ropes. You
I
don't
mean,
like good old adventuring.
Well, I mean, he already tore it open so that he could do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm fine with
so
using
I
rope.
guess I could do this.
I'm
I'll
fine with
use. So I'm not gonna tie the rope to a tree. I'm just gonna tie it like. How do I do this? How do I? Wait. I mean, if I use a rope, does it like go downward or does it like stretch forward a little?
What?
What?
do you know how stretch forward?
No, like it slopes downward.
Are you
Like it
asking
has
if
a
the hole is straight down or if it's sloped?
Yes.
like a surface to repel against. It looks like the area that you broke through is mostly ceiling, and there's like a couple of feet away before there's wall to walk against if you needed to.
I mean, it's just a couple of feet. Why do we need to like fly the
No,
rope?
no, the
couple
distance
of
down to
feet
the
to
floor
fly.
is like probably like good 20 feet. No, yeah, 20 feet.
Eh, yeah, I'm sure I can do 20 feet. I'll just pick the both of them and fly down.
Okay.
All right.
It's hard enough to fly by yourself. It's even harder to fly with both yourself with a medium and a small creature. Is Knickknack also around?
Uh-oh.
That is a
Probably.
good question, actually.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
That
Nick
is
Nack's
a good
probably around.
question.
Into the
Did we
jungle.
bring him along, or
Yeah.
because I would have to rethink this entire thing because
Well,
we would
I mean,
probably go with the
you could
rope
probably
option
make
at this
like
point.
2 trips or 3 trips if it's. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming that we probably brought Knick-Knack with us.
I can only use flight 3 times. Also, it ends at like at the end of your turn. This is the thing.
Well, going down is easier than going up, and with the amount of flight that you have, you do manage to make a somewhat controlled descent, even if it is a little rough on the landing.
Okay.
We'll worry about Nick Nack later.
Yeah, we'll worry about what he's up to later.
I guess that we could have Knick-Knack with us, and Yagen can fly. The other 2 down, and I could take a rope.
All right.
Now that you're down in the cavern, I believe most of you have dark sight.
Yeah.
I know I do because I'm a dwarf.
With dark sight,
You know, for some reason, Warforges don't have dark vision.
wow, makes you a
So-
minority.
No.
Regardless, having light does make it easier to see colors if you do want to have light. You can see more of this chamber that you've broken into. Yes, the floor, very decorative. Walls, to have some kind of like mosaic art. A little bit hard to tell what they're trying to depict, but there's art nonetheless. But then interspersed with between all this is pipes. Looks like really old, tarnished pipes that have seen some heavy use in the past. On closer inspection, it looks like they've been crudely just like installed after the tile has been installed. So, just kind of like interrupting the artwork. There's like a couple of pipes protruding out of like some mosaic person's face.
I wonder if there's anything flowing in those pipes.
You can figure it out. What do you want to do to figure it out?
Investigation?
I guess, yeah. Well,
Try.
like knock, knock, knock. Take a big whiff.
Yeah, I could probably knock on the pipes.
Yeah. 19?
Yeah, 19.
Very good. These pipes are very old and probably haven't seen use in a long, long time. Not just because of the tarnish and all that, but well, you can rub off the exterior tarnish to see if there's anything engraved in it, and you smell. You look at the joining plates, check for any leaks that might tell you what was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them is really boring, obvious stuff like, oh, water main, wow. But others are a little bit more eyebrow raising. Blood, for one.
Now that's interesting.
But it doesn't outright say blood in common. It says like chemo, chemo liquid. Some kind of
Yeah.
like more
Chemo
technical way,
liquid.
more
That
technical,
doesn't sound drinkable.
distanced way of saying blood. um, and there's output, all that. With a 19, you could tell it's not directly blood, but it's more like a one step away from blood. It's more like a blood transformed into like a transmission fuel, or a more factory-friendly version of blood.
Interesting.
Yes, time to try out this new Grimace shade.
Very
Hi.
thick blood.
I try to look around at where the pipes are going to and from or whatever.
Yeah. Some of the areas are blocked off by being caved in, but there are definitely some places that you can go into. When you turn around to look into the hallway that it goes into, you're greeted with a shock, as there's a face right there. A Warforged standing perfectly still, with a large hammer in his hands. Just in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. I guess I have Yagen character go over and do stuff further.
He'll hide behind
Yeah.
him.
Okay, what does he look like though? Like any distinctive
Yes.
features, like a
Uh,
uniform or whatever?
yes, very much so. Um, he looks kind of bulbous, actually, which is unusual for Warforged, as they're usually made to be very functional and without any kind of like utilitarian shapes. This one looks bulbous for some reason, like an hourglass figure, pretty much. That a head like a jar, but still a very stylistic face.
And an hourglass figure.
Hmm.
Literally an hourglass figure, it is made of two conjoined bulbs, like a spider. Like upper body bulb, and
Interesting.
then lower body bulb, and then there's like a head on top. Very
Oh, is
stylistic.
this C-3PO?
Could be.
Uh, yeah, it looks mostly made of. There's metal here and there, but it appears to be mostly covered up by porcelain plates. And its
Okay, I
faceplate
know
too
exactly
looks.
what to do.
Yeah,
So we're gonna, get past them, right?
probably.
I mean, he doesn't
Okay.
look to be. He doesn't seem to be on, unless one of you guys wants to, check that.
You want to turn him on?
Whoa!
Hmm. No, almost definitely not. Because I don't want to, risk any like
You
frostbite
know
or
what?
fate on
I
him.
had an entire like Mission Impossible thing idea going in my head here, but turns out he's off. So I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
Walk past him.
Yep.
I'm gonna just like, just walk towards him and maybe just walk past him. He's not gonna do anything, right? So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Yep.
just walking past him.
As you walk
We'll be
along,
back.
yeah, as you walk along the corridor, you see two, three more identical Warforged, but in various states of decay. Most of them aren't standing up; they're just like on the ground or in pieces.
Interesting.
You walk for a good couple of minutes, exploring different caverns without any signs of movement or life of any kind. Besides these Warforged that have lied dormant. Besides the humanoid ones, you also see kind of like centaur-looking ones, very big, uh, horse body, armored humanoid upper half, long halberd, but also
I
lying
have
still.
PTSD of those from a previous campaign.
Sure.
Halberds or centaurs?
Like centaur robots.
Oh, really?
Like you have no idea. I couldn't do anything for like 4 turns because
Oh my
I was
god.
restrained by one using a net, and I was a wizard with -2 strength.
Yikes. Well, you don't see any nets, fortunately.
What I just found.
But these more and more of these pipes, they tend to converge closer and closer into bigger bundles of pipes, going down and converge again. And there's some areas that have mysterious holes on the ground. There are like three rows of holes, each about the size of a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and they seem to be like lining like a barricade along the ground. And you come across such a row of holes on the ground in front of you. blocking off a bigger chamber. You could like step over them if you want, but I just wanted to let you know in case something bad happens.
So can I look around to see if there's anything that looks like it might be a pressure plate or anything of some sort?
Pressure plate. Yeah, make an investigation check.
15.
15. You don't see any obvious pressure plates, but you're also aware that there are mechanisms that exist that don't require a pressure plate to send poison or spikes or flames. Who knows? Maybe these could just be drainage holes. You don't know. You don't know.
Maybe.
You know what? I'll see a walk first just to test the waters.
All right.
Very good. You will walk past the walk over the holes, and spikes will jut out from the holes along the floor. Probably like
Okay, good thing. Barbarians have danger sense
oh yeah, you're right. Make a dexterity
Yeah.
saving throw.
with advantage.
Yeah, with advantage. You feel a kind of like uh-oh feeling from beneath your feet as rusty mechanisms. Then a second later, spikes will jut out over your feet. 25. Yes.
25.
Nice.
You will step back and avoid these spikes that have jutted out. Curiously, though, you could just step over them because they're so close together if you really wanted to.
Wait, so so the traps, like, they won't reset, right? They're just still there.
The spikes retract slowly, and it is back to as it was before.
So the
Hmm.
things aren't like. So you're saying step over? You mean they're not like super tall? And
They're not super tall, and the surface area they occupy can easily be stepped over without touching the holes.
All right.
All right, so I'll just go test more traps then.
When you step over the rows of spikes, they will jut out, but they don't threaten you any further.
okay,
They will retract back again once you've stepped past them.
so we could make our way over by just carefully avoiding them. Then
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
sounds like a
Easily,
plan.
we do that.
easily done. Easily done.
So I continue walking forward.
Yeah. Continue walking forward. You enter a bigger chamber, and all that, and you walked past some bones and such, bones and other ancient decayed matter, kind of like in a pile in the middle of the chamber. But yeah, more pipes, and the mosaic art here is largely undisturbed, as yeah, it's just all on the walls. Beautiful, beautiful stones. Clearly, you'd have to have like a big manufacturing or like a quarry to organize such a variety of colorful stones
Yeah.
and bits of tile. Very fine craftsmanship. And also, once again, very old. But it appears it wasn't exposed to the elements, so it's preserved.
Can I try to what is it? Look through or look at the stuff and determine uh its age relative to the um temple that I had gotten my patron's orb thingy from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Make a art appreciation check. No, you can do investigation
Okay.
or even history if you want to.
18.
18. Similar era actually. Also similar art style.
Okay.
Obviously, the pipes are different here, though. There were no pipes and other things. Those appear to be more of relatively recent addition, but compared to you, still ancient.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, probably more well-preserved stuff due to it not being in the bottom of a river.
yes.
Uh,
You will continue along until you come across a caved-in corridor, which unfortunately appears to be where most of the pipes are leading into.
Hmm.
But it is also at this point you realize, well, maybe you don't realize it quite yet, but you've been walking quite some time at this point.
mhm. Okay.
The direction you've been walking in was, I don't know if I should give you that for free. But the point is, yeah, there's a very big underground complex that you've been going in. There's like lots of downward and upward movement too, but not a lot of branching paths. Uh,
Hmm.
There. So, been down here a while. Walking a while. Can I try to determine like what relative direction we've been going in, and like if we're still even under the island or anything?
yes, make a navigation check.
Okay.
Can I assist for that?
Sure.
Well, it's not needed
No,
because I
All right.
better than that 20.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yeah.
You're able to, even though you have no stars or like you can't use your sextant, your compass is a little wonky. You're still able to recall like the average number of steps you took. You are directly below the monastery of the Sisterhood of the Vine.
Ooh,
interesting.
that's really interesting.
And with that discovery, perhaps we can leave it at that for today.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
Mm.
I'm famished. I'll see you guys.